ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, my oh my. Is it a great night for the elements? Welcome to Empires of Ink. Turn-based strategy board game that allows you to wield the power of an element of your choosing, vying for control of a new power, a new land, a new element. Aether. And tonight is a matchup between the top 4 seeds of our current competitive season. Blue Shadow, Young Gerald and Scooby, Ooflord the Man, and David the Biggest Yeet. They're already getting their bands in, their picks are in. Let's take a look at the board. Bim bam boom! We are active. We had water, earth bands, no surprises there. Very, very solid picks here. And oh my gosh, you got a surprise grab down here. I believe other bands were, we had sand and, well, we can parse this out here really fast. Sand was absolutely banned. And then the other ban was, Magma? No, Magma got taken over here. Not sure what our third ban is, or our fourth ban. We're missing some, oh, Blood! Blood is our fourth ban. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. So our 4 bans were Sand, Blood, Earth, and Water. Blood, very, very powerful in the last matchup that we had here. And Sand is a mortal enemy of Ooflord, so it's no surprise that he's taken that off the board here. And then Water and Earth have just been super, super strong. I believe it was Magma that was taken first, and if I gotta assume that it was Arcane taken just behind that. Arcane only selected in one other competitive match, and it was by a total rookie of the game. Arcane is often overlooked, but I'm telling you, it's underrated, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely underrated. And then Nature and Lightning are the other 2 picks here. We'll have to see as they settle into their corners what they're grabbing. The last competitive game was won by the Biggest Yeet with Lightning, and he gets to play it again, so let's see what his strategy is going to be going into this one. Poison not banned, not actually taken. Air was looking terrible in the last competitive match after these nerfs. So I am not surprised that Air was not banned, not looked at as a viable option here. Although we only have 1 field corners here, Air not the move. Very curious to see what Ooflord is going to do with Arcane here. That's going to be a spicy, spicy venture for us. And it is Scooby, who is our most efficient win condition gatherer in the game in the season thus far, playing Magma in the 2020 position. I like the pick. I think Magma is incredibly solid, especially in those later resource turns. We're going to see what Nature's going to be able to do. A fairly aggressive Nature is probably going to be able to disrupt Magma a little bit. So we'll see if that results in an early death for Magma potentially. I like the Lightning versus Nature matchup as well, but Nature can play around. If they go with the standard Forest build, but with these 2 Rainforests opening in the corner, I'm thinking we're going to see a little Amazonas build. A little Beast build. We're going to see the Kerchaks, the Tantors, all that jazz. And Arcane has been laid out. I'm telling you, Arcane, secret OP. You do need a building material heavy corner, and we've got 3 mountains in this corner. I'm very surprised Jake or Ooflord did not go for metal here. Very interesting. Very interesting. So we will be taking a gander there. Let's see that. Let's get some sound effects in here. Uh-oh. Is our alert box bad again? Let's check this out. Hold on. Hold the phone. While they're selecting their abilities, we're good to go here. Let's get a little action here.
Look at me.
Boom. Boom, there it is.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
There's our alerts. Somehow I got muted. No biggie. So I think with Lightning, we're going to see a pretty cookie-cutter build here. Lightning is super disruptive against Arcane, so Arcane's going to have to watch out for that. That might be a more featured matchup than Lightning versus Nature here. So we'll have to check it out. Indeed we will. Let's see what Arcane is kind of settling into. Arcane is one that really, really prioritizes its It's Quest. It's Quest is how it wins. We've got a wild Sawsbuck. Boom. Let's see if we snag that for ourselves. Not sure. We'll have to check it out. New little chat feature. I thought it was super entertaining. Super entertaining. Okay. So Lightning settling into a fairly standard build. Lightning really has no variations in its build at all at this point. I believe Lightning is not 2020. I think they still need to rearrange their turns. Bup. We are caffeinated as well. Well, we're about to be caffeinated. This stream is sponsored typically by Celsius, but we've moved up in the world. Run the Alani Nu grind now, boys. And girls out there. Whatever drives you. Boom. Let's try that. Okay, no one caught it, so he missed it. Rough. Oh, I'm messing with my brother for this. Okay, so I imagine we're pretty close to getting started here. It is Lightning at 10-10. I think Lightning really struggles with a 10-10 start. But if we look at this final corner that was available to Lightning, it is so food heavy. Mountain and Rainforest are really their only viable building material options. And water was banned. So Lightning is a solid pick here. Water would have been absolutely incredible in this location. But really nothing else is really wanting to settle in here. So I'm not sure what would have been a better pick, but Lightning might struggle. But man, this is really asking for a fire start, right? This mountain becoming a volcano. Secondary succession. Fire might have been the pick here, actually. But then fire also struggles into Magma at this point. Magma with just a great counter tier 2 card. So let's see here. Let's look at this Arcane build. We've got the Quest, of course, the White Wizard. Gandalf the White coming into play here. If we just get all of our other spells in play, then that is a win condition for us. That's halfway to a win condition. And we've got own 5 resource buildings, own 2 tiles of the same type, lots of mountains at our disposal here, so that's easy for them. Win a battle, and then we also have the this is the hardest one. Although it's not too hard to lose a battle, but it's hard to convince someone to attack you at a certain point. So they do have to lose a tile to battle in order to achieve a certain win condition. We've got Magma going with their quest, owning 5 volcano tiles, going with a fairly standard build here, but I do like this little aggro flair to it in tier 2. I wonder what he's going to try to do with that. If he's going to try to go at nature here. We'll see. I like it. He's got the free volcano. He's got Pompeii, and he did take rapid colonization. I would have probably opted to go hot spring here, but we'll see. With that swamp right there, maybe he just wants that to be a free volcano. No problem with that. Yeti counts as a beast for your nature? For your quest, you mean? Sure, why not? So we got nature's build here. He is going for the rainforest variant of nature. Honestly, with 2 rainforests in the corner, I am surprised that it did make it through the ban phase. And Cerberus? Sure, why not? Are you asking for, like, the quest purpose? If it's for the quest, then yes. If it's for, like, Druid's abilities, I'm gonna say no. I think it's actually really cool if it counts for the quest. Oh, for Stampede. Cerberus can't move, though. So Cerberus can't move. Yeti can. That's my official declaration. Good questions from Blue Shadow. Playing with some of these newer cards. Needs a little bit of time to prepare here. But with a fairly defensive nation of Magma over here, I think he's going to have some time to prep for it. Trash into camp. Once again, Yeti, not Cerberus. Yeti counts as beast. Official ruling. Boom. Wait, Blue Shadow, while you're here, hit Poke Start. Exclamation point, Poke Start. Do that. While you're chilling in chat. So let's see the beast that he opted for. He did opt for a nerf version of Kerchak and Tantor. Ever powerful. Nature is going to want to go to tier 3 here. Froakie. Alright, so I think we're starting in here. Let's see these turns get swapped here. Shall we? Red first. Yellow second. Blue should be last. And boom. Alright, so the story of this early game is who is Lightning going to move into? And I think Lightning was going to... Lightning, the question is, are they going to aggress? And with this corner in a 10-10 start, I really don't think that they should. I think they should probably try to turtle up, look for some openings. Okay, a little buff to Arcane here. Arcane super susceptible to early game aggression. However, if the cards roll their way, a couple of apprentices can knock down just about anyone, especially a fairly weak Lightning. Lightning opening up with just a soldier getting to really take advantage of that free, no need for barracks on their capital, move to the lake tile, move their general to the mountain central of the board, just get a couple of tiles at their disposal. Pretty solid here. Gets a humdinger of an advantage card. That is gnarly for the 10-10 start. That is a winner. That is a winner. And something that we're really going to watch out for. And actually, I'm not going to bring any attention to it. Just in case there's any stream snipers. But there's a way that things get real funky here. Really was debating on Sabor. I think Sabor would have been really good in this particular matchup against Lightning and the little spare soldiers that Magma's going to run around with. But Kerchak is better, right? Kerchak's better for late game. Alright, so we've got Nature opening up with massive casualties, another S-tier advantage card, and Recycle. So 3 cards drawn this game, 3 S-tier advantage cards. He got to draw a second advantage card because he purchased this Rainforest, which is a part of their kit, a part of their large card passive. For every Forest or Rainforest that they purchase, they get to draw an advantage card. And also because of his build, he is getting a Rainforest for half price here. And he did take Trashing the Camp, which can be very interesting in the mid-game, because he's got several other Rainforests on the board at his disposal that he can teleport to. So other players need to really watch out for that. Magma might seek to actually try to convert these to volcanoes, whereas Lightning really doesn't have any options to convert them. Very rough for them. Arcane, opening up with a good advantage card. Probably going to want to use that on their mountain this turn. They do start off with a free castle to spawn their first apprentice for 3 and 3. Gonna buy a mountain and a field. Gives them some good early game starts here. The general is a force to be reckoned with once he owns the second mountain. Then he's gonna have a little extra pep in his step. Little extra strength. So we'll see what happens there. Owning 3 tiles at the same time is also what he's going for. Once he gets these 3 mountains, Arcane is going to get a big power spike here. Arcane, very, very relevant for all you people watching out there that have been knocking it, not looking at it for a ban, not looking at it for a pick. Very solid stuff here. Gonna get a resource building on that mountain, and he might even pop impressive yield here right away. I would imagine he does. No reason not to, right? Because if anything, if you go a little too much in the BM department, once you get your 3rd mountain, just mess this axe up for food. Good, impressive yield here. So this tile right here is going to be netting 8 PM this turn. Really solid. Great opening cards for these players. Let's see what Scooby gets in his opening turn. Easily gets the worst one of the batch here. If Nature didn't draw that extra card, he would have had a juicer for himself. Magma General moves to the field. Purchases that. Doesn't use his rapid colonization on that. Probably going to save it for the Rainforest. So buys the field. Pops a barracks on it. Gonna pop a soldier there. Goes to the swamp. Goes to the desert. Gonna buy a couple of cheap tiles here and probably convert one into a volcano. I really like this desert positioned as an aggressive volcano. I really like that. Opts to go for the swamp instead. I think he used Pompeii for that. Didn't use his free volcano from nothing. So he did use the first iteration of Pompeii. Really solid here. Magma is really great when you've got a bunch of underwhelming tiles adjacent to your capital, this swamp and this desert. When you're not playing poison or sand, really great option. Because you can convert any tile you own into a volcano. Any tile. Very solid. So I think this is a really good opener. The way nature has to position in these opening turns to get these first rainforest tiles, it doesn't bode well for early aggression. But also this build for nature is not really good or conducive for early aggression either. Gonna get 2 volcanoes out of the gate. This was a double use of Pompeii on turn 1. The most efficient open I've seen a Magma player since this Pompeii card was changed. Excellent job from Scooby. Really showing why he is the most efficient win condition collector in our competitive scene. Great stuff here. Pretty quick turn 1. Let's see what the first weather event is. Westward expansion postponed. No one can travel west. That is this side of the board here, courtesy of our compass. So lightning is not going to be able to move up to the lake. Nature's not going to be able to move to that rainforest. Or actually, this soldier can. So it doesn't cut off too much. Actually, the most significant deal is that Arcane can't move on the short side to defend himself. That's a very big deal. On top of that, his apprentice can't move into this mountain. Ooh, Oof is significantly hurt by this. This is a bad start for Oof. Not good there. Not good at all. Lightning should have a couple of pretty quick moves here. Can't buy the rainforest, but I would imagine he goes on the short side, takes advantage of this weather, buys this desert. Don't have to do anything with it yet. Just buy it. Why not? I imagine we just want to save resources to get this rainforest, but we can aggress upon the short side here, because unless Arcane has a weather changer, can't aggress upon us. I like this as well, just getting resource buildings down. Good stuff. And we're still in range to hit our rainforest next turn, or potentially even go to tier 2. Dwarven Alliance, we get some cheap soldiers. However, for a resource that Lightning would really like to hold on to. Not too much building materials in their corner. We might see Lightning go full-fledged into a food-heavy build, because Thunderclap can always bridge the gap for them in terms of building materials. Nature's going to get an announce card here. You and one other nation receive 5 food. Great card to get turn 2. Great card to get. So we haven't seen Nature use any of their abilities aside from their tier 1 passive. What are we going to see them turn this tile into a forest? Which they do need for their equatorial sightseeing. That's what they need here. Once again, a little surprised that Nature did make it through with 2 rainforests being so close in one corner. So Nature got the food. Who else got the food? I want to say Arcane did. I think it had to be. Had to be Arcane. So he did give it to his opposite. Yep. Gave Arcane 5 food for 2 BM. Very interesting. So Ooflord willing to make a little building material sacrifice there. I like that. Extorting the trade. We did make a community rule. The only time players can talk is when it is their turn, or when they're making deals between turns, or in the event of announce cards like such. So there shouldn't be any other people telling them to watch out for certain issues. Great card for this Nature player. Got lots of Rainforest in their corner so they can get some discounted soldiers. Gonna buy this Rainforest for 3 and 3. Such a powerful card. Such a powerful open for Nature. I think Nature is certainly going to be the biggest threat early on. Buys that desert for 3 BM, immediately converts into a forest, utilizing that Arboretum card, that tier 1 card. We got a Joltik that disappeared for us. Make him a little bit bigger. Doesn't want to get much bigger. He's trying, okay? Okay. So good cards, all in, like, nature's feeling good right now. Resource buildings on all their tiles owned so far, aside from the lake, feeling really, really good. Netting 13 and 10, great stuff. Still has 13 food left over. Goes to Oof, the Arcane player, who's in a really difficult spot here with this first weather event. Just really kind of stuck. He doesn't want to move the general into the desert, because that moves him away from the short side. This weather event might very well decide the game this early on. I would just put, if you're going to put the resource building down, I would put a castle on my field as well. Why not? Because one of the biggest things that Arcane needs to develop is their Arcane Shift spell. You have to purchase 2 towers to get it. You get a free tower once you accomplish that, but then everyone can teleport between these towers. Gives you great mobility on the board, which looks to be a very suffocating start for our Arcane player. Doesn't know what Lightning's got lying in wait for him. Rough. Riggedy rough. So he opted. Looks like he threw that resource building away. I would just toss this advantage card out. Get a free resource building for that. So he has his BM. We gotta put a castle down, right? There's no reason not to. If we're stuck, put a castle down. Absolutely brutal weather start. If we hadn't cited enough. Just ends his turn. Doesn't put a castle up. Curious as to why that is. That's a lot of resources not used. Lot of resources not used. Goes to Scooby for turn 2. Sitting at 5 and 9. Great building material development. Magma not making that much food, but they don't need that much food because a lot of their soldiers are generated for free courtesy of their volcanoes. Magma is now going to get 2 soldiers each turn for free. Big deal in the early game. We should see him creep up the short side here. That is moving west, though. Can't do that. Can't afford the rainforest. Can't afford the Star Tile Mountain, but he does need to enhance his food production. So I think we might not see him buy anything else this turn. Gonna go ahead and use that rapid colonization, get that rainforest for half price. Very solid, and get an automatic resource building on it. Great use of that card. Most value. We'll probably see him hold there. I don't see any other need. I think market and stables are going to be very useful for our players here. Stables, if nature or lightning get their hands on stables, absolutely massive. Going to be a big investment for lightning, but not that big of an investment for nature, I think, in these up and coming turns. Magma not getting great cards here. Couple of Star Tile themed cards. This is not bad. He's gonna have the resources to develop this mountain, so he can get an extra resource or an extra defense fortification on it. Not what you want to see though. And termites, so rough for Arcane and Lightning. After payout, all BM or half of all BM is lost. So rough. I think Magma is the one that is hit the least by this. Nature can't tier up, though. Market could be a big play for a lot of these players if they have some sort of teleport feature that gets them there. But the West is back online. You can once again move west. Lightning's got dibs. Can take an early just monopoly on that stables or even the market. Gets to actually swap a landmark tile with the tile adjacent to your capital. If he monopolizes the market in such a food-heavy corner, that could be massive. But he has to get there. He has to get there. Oh, and he does have to own it, actually, so it'd have to be stables. In fact, this card was essentially made for stables. Stables, Oasis, that sort of thing. So really weak in this situation because Lightning is several turns away from being able to efficiently afford stables. Sitting at 5 and 5 on the turn. Not too healthy. I imagine he moves a soldier just into the forest, not to buy it or anything like that. Just to occupy the space. Arcane probably swiftly gets it out of there. There might be talks in between the turns between Arcane and Lightning. Them saying that they don't want to actually fight with one another. And with Lightning's economic position, I think that's probably good for them. Probably very good for them. It's super unfortunate they have yet to actually purchase this rainforest. And because of those termites, they still are a turn out from being able to do so. Moves his general to the mountain. Gonna buy this turn. Not really in any risk of it being taken, so I think that's fine. Only one other soldier on the board. Actually retreats off of that desert. I think there probably is some correspondence between Arcane and Lightning right now. Oof is very reasonable to make deals with this, and I think, especially after turn 2, he's just breathing a sigh of relief that Lightning isn't pushing into him. So I think he's happy to make a peace deal right now. No way he tears up here. He does have Blitzkrieg Warfare at his disposal. So he's going to tear up with Elemental Devotion, which is a huge deal now, I can say this, because now Justin can't clone it using his Macaw ability. Very significant. Curious as to why he did this. It's just because he can get these discounted soldiers with shocking development. I actually really like this. Just now, Spiderweb on the board. And hopefully we can get to that capped out point of Thunderclap. Right? Contend for a boss at some point. Really, really solid. Good play. I didn't like that play at first, but I always forget about Shocking Development. Such a good card. It's a card that keeps Lightning relevant in the mid-game because they are often an all-in type of play. They use Blitzkrieg Warfare, they go for a boss, or they go for an opponent, and if it doesn't work out, they're usually pretty much out of the game. Shocking Development is what keeps you a little bit relevant. So he's going to Spiderweb on the board here, and the reason why he's going to be spread out very thin, and that's totally fine, is because he has Lightning Rod as well. He can still gather all of those troops in and focus in for an attack. So we go to Nature here. Gets an announce card, I believe. Just a great announce card. Justin is getting just so much luck on these cards. 5 food and 3 soldiers. Just massive. Now he can Spiderweb on the board here. Look at all this food at his disposal. Just absurd. So when he can actually afford to go tier 2, he's going to be able to actually spawn out several of these beasts. Could see trashing the camp be very relevant fairly early on in this game, actually. But there's a lot of really, really good Aether Mines at this table. I don't think they're going to let it go without a fight. We had a similar table with, I would say, similar skill levels the other day, and it was a long game. Just a stalemate everywhere. No one could kill anyone. Not for lack of trying. A lot of blood was spilled on that board. So I do find it curious that he spawns 3 soldiers but leaves one of them with his general. Why not just move to the lake or stables or something like that? Why not? Curious. Could be keeping it for fast as. Not sure why that matters too much. So I think he went ahead and... What did he do here? He went ahead and used Macaw, which he used to clone someone's cards. He does clone Lightning's cards, and he gets dibs. So he does have to discard one of his cards here now. I would imagine you're probably going to discard your Dwarven Alliance. You can't afford to spend building materials on troops. It's just not in the cards for nature this game. Termites shook all that up. He needs all the building materials he can get. Goes ahead and uses Recycle on Macaw. Really powerful. Super powerful. I like that. I do like that. And he's going to use his Amazonian tribes to get 3 discounted soldiers on this front rainforest, I imagine, just press into the territory of Lightning. To probably just contend for Koga here. There was an official ruling before this game that Koga the Yeti counts as a beast for nature to tie into their Stampede abilities. Nature General moving towards the middle of the board. With Aether happening at turn 7, everyone is always frantically trying to move to the middle of the board now. Because Aether, pretty good at clinching you a win. Pretty good at keeping you relevant. No building materials, but he is going to go to double digit on both next turn. He is going to be able to go tier 2 no matter what. So Arcane cannot discount their soldiers at all, so this is a dead card for Arcane. But he is going to be able to discard this for a free resource building the next time he owns a tile. Moves to the mountain. There has to be talk between these players here. Has to be. Now that he owns 2 mountains, his general's bonus is a little more powerful. The new staff is activated. And he throws away his card that he just drew to get a free resource building. Just as we expected. Look at this huge surplus of food. This is why we need a building material heavy corner for Arcane. You gotta get those resource buildings down. You gotta get your castles down. But this is crazy. Abandoning the short side against Lightning is so scary. If I'm not mistaken, the last time Arcane was... No. It was actually Scooby who was playing Lightning against Arcane and used Lightning to actually save Arcane when aggression was put upon him. So great BM economy here. 2 mountains, both with resource buildings on them. Really solid here, but still only 2 units on the board. Surely going to see a little more militaristic expansion next turn, I would imagine. Apprentice moving up the coast. And Scooby finally getting to take his turn 3. Gets intercepting cargo. It's so smart to use this on nature this turn. Lightning is kind of scary. You can sabotage Lightning, but they're already in tier 2. Sabotage nature here. I think he should pop intercepting cargo against nature right now at the end of this turn. Take 5 BM away from them. Gets 2 free soldiers. Look at this. It's such a small investment in the beginning and just pays hugely in the mid game. There's a lot of contention for this temple in the middle of the board. Arcane's the only one left out here. Magma, the first to reach the market. Really solid. Sitting at 11-9. Not going to hit tier 2 this turn, but no matter. No matter at all. With San Andreas did it. Curious to see where he's going to try to put that general to get a free volcano down. Was that the 3rd iteration of Pompeii? Nope. Finally opts to go for the free volcano. So he uses his volcano from nothing to get his 3rd volcano down. Just excellent. Building material economy is supreme. Gonna put a resource building down where? Puts it on that volcano as well. Like it. That tile is gonna be netting him 6 BM every turn. Moves the general to the star tile. Once again, he's gonna have the resources to secure it. He's got those advantage cards to secure it. Really solid. We should see intercepting cargo played here. Oh my gosh! The temple immediately becomes Aether, which means David gets Aether in turn 4. Lightning with an early Aether. And fear quakes throughout the table, except for David. David, it's looking like they're trying to hand him a win. They want to hand him a win. This is scary. We might be looking for an early finish here. Lightning's gonna have a lot of power. Think of all the possibilities here. Once he owns this rainforest, he's going to be able to use Macaw. No reason to spawn volcanoes. Arcane's got some things he can do some stuff with, but it's really the ability for him to be able to use his own abilities again. Crazy. I want to know what abilities I got. I'm going to my channel. I need to buy some Pokeballs. Crazy opening turn. Didn't see Magma opt to use intercepting cargo either, which I think is a little bit of a mistake. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Unlimited power for young biggest E here. Massive power. Lightning is supercharged. I think the only element to actually hit tier 2 and manages to hit Aether as well. Very scary. Gets a whole new line of abilities to add to his own. But the best part is this balance passive here, where he gets to use any ability that's been used this game once per turn. Only gets to use those abilities once again, but still, that can be very powerful when he pretty much has used none of his abilities thus far. Massive. Absolutely massive. And he is going to be the one to kick us off with turn 4. And I imagine this one's going to be a spicy one. So Magma did end up using intercepting cargo. And I want to say, based on these resources, probably use it on our new Aether player. Lightning turned Aether. Yes, because nature is still north of 12 building materials. Which I do think... it's a tough call to make. Lightning is going to be very powerful, yes. But I think stalling another player might have been even better. But Magma's at a very healthy 18 and 24. Gonna want to hit tier 2 this turn, so that he can start taking advantage of his dudes coming out of lava. Part 2! Get 2 soldiers per. That's smart. He asked if intercepting cargo could be used on multiple people. Probably looking to take maybe 3 BM away from nature. I think that's just another example of Scooby showing why he is potentially the best wielder of the elements out here. The best of the best! Once again, thanks for joining us. Whenever you're watching this, thanks for joining us for what is a dynamic, competitive tabletop experience. Tell your mother about us. Seriously, tell your mom. Your mom would love to watch us. Not gonna lie. We've got a question about the powers of Aether. Okay, so he's looking to pop off with Thunderclap. Aether, so powerful. And we've already highlighted the balance feature of it. And Lightning is going to want to take advantage of getting to use their own abilities twice. but they can't use those abilities twice in the same turn. So he hasn't used Thunderclap. He wanted to know if he could Thunderclap and then use Balance to pop Thunderclap again to get a huge building material surplus. But no, that is not allowed. He would use Thunderclap once this turn and then once next turn. Gonna move us over to the market. He is broke. He is Aether, but he's broke. So he's gonna struggle right now, but him controlling the middle of the board is very, very massive. I would actually look to see some aggression taken this turn from Nature or Magma to push him out of this Aether tile, which, not to be forgotten, is a star tile at this point. So that is a significant deal. Let's see, he's got a lot of thinking here. It's time for the sand to come out. It's time for the sand to dictate your future. I think he used the market to exchange some resources here. Looked like he exchanged like 5 food for a couple BM. Just gonna get resource buildings down. Wants to up, I assume, his building material production. But his food is not great either. He's only netting 7 and 8 so far. Not great. Arcane really needs to find their footing in the game very fast, because I think at any point, Lightning is going to be able to aggress upon them. And with Arcane's current position on the board, I don't see them able to stop him too easily. I think it would take some interference from other players. So we go to Nature here. Nature gets a great card here. The Aether tile does count as the star tile. Could be relevant. Justin getting just some zinger advantage cards here. Great advantage cards. Gonna use massive casualties, eliminate the only army on the board. Gonna get rid of Lightning's army. And I think this is probably because he wants to aggress upon the Aether tile this turn, and he just wants no backlash. But with Lightning having Blitzkrieg Warfare at their disposal next turn, this might be a short-lived take. But Lightning being so broke, it's possible Lightning is just not in a position to really dominate at this point. I think as the Lightning player, you gotta hope that people fear going to war with you so much because you are such a war brazen nation now with cheap, discounted soldiers. Perhaps people don't want to fight you. And so just use a couple of turns to turtle up. Work on that economy. So he does use Macaw again, and he takes 2 cards from Magma, clones the 2 cards in Magma's hand, both Star Tile themed. He's got Interstellar and My Opponent Needs This Land to Win. Great stuff for sieging a Star Tile. Gonna toss that Dwarven Alliance, which we said he was going to do eventually anyway. You're not making enough BM. So Nature still hesitant to go tier 2, it looks. Goes tier 2 by the looks of it. Yep, goes tier 2. Spends 5 and 2 to buy that lake on the short side. What are we going to see here? Arcane brings up a good point. Arcane's got a spell. Arcane worried that they can't even achieve their quest. If there's no temple on the board, can we achieve this spell? I think he should. If he can get to his Aether, I say if he can own Aether, then that is Arcane Invitation. So Nature's gonna pop tier 2, gonna convert 2 tiles into Rainforest. This is, I think, perhaps the most powerful of their abilities, because their economy simply shouldn't be as powerful as it is. Oh, let me close my door here. Dog's barking a little bit. Protecting the fortress that we do call the Elemental Temple here. Protecting the fortress. And the first Kerchak is hitting the board here. And with 4 Rainforests at his disposal, he is now online for trashing the camp. Probably wants to save it to be more effective. We might see a trashing the camp use on this Rainforest owned by Lightning. It would decimate his economy, and Lightning would struggle to fight with nature over a period of turns. But we'll see. He could also be 2 tiles away from Magma's capital. Lots of option. Nature is in a really, really cool spot. Nature is an incredibly powerful nation.
Choices you made, would you make them
All right. What do we got here? Got some advantage cards being laid out here. What card was played? Ooflord playing a card here. Oh, he's going to be playing one of his spells here. That's what it is. Simply going to be playing his... Where's it at? It's one of these. Get some great cards here. Casting Light, sorry, he moved it over here. Once he owns 3 tiles, he can draw 5 advantage cards and keep 2 of them, and he gets some great ones. Bull by the Horns, excellent card for Arcane because there's no RNG associated with your combat. You know exactly what power level you're going to be at when you attack something. Obviously, he needs to build up his forces a little bit. And I think he's going to have time to do it because I imagine Nature is going to use Trashing the Camp to attack Lightning. Probably next turn. Nature incredibly powerful here. Going to be at 21 and 15 currently next turn. Super solid for him. So he tosses his Mountain Mercenaries card, which would net him a free apprentice, but he's bought all the mountains in his area. So he's just expanding. Very interesting that he's kind of neglected the short side here. The weather did force that in turn 2, but has since been open. So this is what I'm worried about. With Lightning's power, I think Lightning is, just, a card or 2 away from being able to move to this desert and potentially even kill Arcane in the same turn. So once he wins a battle, what's very interesting about this, he's going to be able to get some powerful advantage cards. Massive casualties out there. Or if he uses Bull by the Horns, he could get it back. Really solid. Playing it so slow, so carefully. Arcane just... This is the problem I currently have with this nation. I think they are powerful, but their economy is just so hard to manage. But the market is definitely going to be very valuable to Arcane here. This now, by putting these 2 towers down, is going to activate his Arcane Shift. He's now going to be able to teleport from tower to tower on the board and gets a free tower upon accomplishing that spell. Very interesting. If he gets Interstellar, if Justin pops Interstellar at some point, Arcane is going to be able to access Interstellar once he can get Experience's knowledge. Interstellar is going to allow him to take the Aether tile, which is going to allow him to use Arcane Imitation. And then all of this is bolstered by the fact that if he gets up in an opponent's face, he's more likely to lose a tile to battle. And if you look at that, that's all he needs to accomplish his quest, which I think he can certainly achieve in 2 turns or so. So I think Arcane very viably can get 1 win condition out of this game, which is very, very solid, in what is an incredibly weird game with Aether Unbound being drawn at the end of turn 3. Nature getting another apprentice out. Teleporting them to the towers. Getting aggressive on that star tile. Magma, hook me up. Hook me up. Let's see if we got him. It's a 50-50 with a great ball. Carries, some carries. We got him! We got him, baby! Gosh, I'm so talented. I am wildly talented. Wildly, I tell you. Never forget that. With all these interactive effects, it's only time will tell when the zoo comes in here, boys. Like, Arcane is powerful here, boys.
It's treason.
Arcane is powerful here at the middle of the board, getting a lot of apprentices out there. Curious to see how well he prioritizes the market here. But I would imagine he's spreading out here in a way so that it can get Arcane, or not Arcane Imitation. Didn't actually take Arcane Missiles this game. Super interesting. Very interesting that he didn't take Arcane Missiles. Probably the most powerful spell. Arcane Circle, though, pretty powerful as well. Gonna go ahead and bull by the horns. Take all of his militaristic power over here to the other side of the board. And this is going to immediately grant him a kill on Koga. Which actually, yes, Koga's at 50 HP. So 4 apprentices will do it because that puts him at 60 attack. Arcane, the first to make a big play in this game, and is now on the opposite side of the board and can be super aggro. But more importantly, this counts as a battle. He can obtain an advantage card that's been used this game, and that advantage card that he's most likely going to want is Bull by the Horns. Arcane going to be very good at getting a second boss here, and then all he's got to do is play for his quest. He's got Koga at his disposal. Ain't this cool? Koga the Yeti in play. Let's see what Magma's gonna do here. I think this is the first time Scooby's played Magma. Scooby has been a very powerful Glacier, Lightning, Fire player, very aggressive player. Magma is not usually his speed, but Magma very powerful. Hoping he's got a big play in the works here. Got a great amount of resources. Good defensive card here. Curious to see what we've got going on here. Could see him use San Andreas Did It to convert the Aether Tile into a volcano. That would be very interesting. Would inch him even closer to obtaining his quest of owning 5 volcanoes. At this point, he needs to spend 10 and 10 to get another volcano with Pompeii. So he's at 3 volcanoes right now. He's going to have to spend 10 and 10 and use San Andreas Did It in order to get... So he is going to have to spend 10-10. So he's looking at, in order to obtain his quest win condition, that's 30 and 30 resources. That's a hefty, hefty, hefty sum. But, because he's now tier 2, he's getting 2 soldiers every turn from each of these volcanoes. So with 3 volcanoes here, that's an army for free and a soldier every turn. But the real question is, what is nature going to do with trashing the camp? That is the question. Does the Magma General go for an Aether Tile attack? Has a soldier and his general. We could see him use Raked Over the Coals to flip his defensive bonus on the volcanoes to an offensive bonus to take on the Gray pretty soon. And if he uses that, then he can get other volcanoes at a much more economic price. That might be his play. Gonna swap that barracks out for a resource building. No arguments there. Needs a little more food production. Probably realizing the investment that's going to be necessary in order to get to his quest without the help of the Grey. And Arcane has just sped up this game so much. Because he's going to get bull by the horns again. He's going to be able to teleport across the map to the Grey next turn, likely. And take on that. He'll be at a win condition, and then he's just waiting for his quest. Very achievable for him. Very achievable. Magma approaching the end of the turn, probably just fanning out on the board here. I assume some defensive fortifications on the short side here. Yep, looking like we're going to double up. No arguments there. Nope, resource building and defense fortification. With not much aggression shown from nature, and this really isn't their breadbasket to attack here. We're looking at attack points being here or here. I think lightning is a much better option. The nation that takes a turn forth, that is Scooby, gets to select a forest. It becomes a rainforest. This is... There's only one forest on the board, and this gives another option for nature to jump on an enemy and be 2 tiles away from their capital. This is very scary now. So now nature's going to be able to teleport from this rainforest tile here, with probably 2 Kerchaks and their general, to this tile and attack this field. The problem with that is you do give Arcane their Arcane Circle ability. Lightning is going to trade 2 food for 1 building material here. Hold on. Sorry, boys. Had some car issues earlier today. Had a catalytic converter stolen from us. Big yikes on that. Anyways, Lightning making some plays here. Gonna take a boss out for themselves. Taking Felnir. Like this play, they use Command Thunderstorm and I believe Blitzkrieg Warfare to accomplish this, because their economy is garbage kaput. He used the market to give himself 1 food in order to afford the full 2 armies for Blitzkrieg, and then still had to roll pretty decently into Felnir in order to take this. But now he's good to go. Good to go here, but this does force Arcane's hand. I think they will be bulls by the Hornsing into the Grey. But the real question is, what is Nature going to do here? Nature just putting up a little defense here. I think this is just a fear. If Arcane decides to go aggro, which they do have so much power. Don't knock him! Don't knock him! So Nature's got Kerchak and an army here, but that's not going to hold off 5 apprentices and Koga the Yeti! But I do think we're going to see Arcane go to the other coast here. Two armies and Kerchak here. Shouldn't see an attack. No way. Be too hefty of a roll. Plus, he can't get Kerchak and the armies to attack simultaneously. So not a chance we see that. I think we're seeing Justin kind of flounder a little bit. He's seeing win conditions disappear from his eyes. And so I think he's just kind of moving around. Because if I'm looking at the other aspects of the game, Oof could attack me. But either way, it's a move that effectively takes both of them out of the game, because that gives Magma time to take the Grey for himself. So you got Arcane taking Bull by the Horns back, which with his current units here is enough to take the Grey. That puts him at 80 attack with Koga. Can immediately kill that boss. Puts a tower on Koga though. Leave that land there so I can teleport to it later. Arcane is powerful, people, I'm telling you. Oof might be the first competitive Arcane winner here today. What does he go for here after this? He also needs to develop towards the Aether tile. Love to see his general make it there. Just moving apprentices around. What a powerful man. Move to this rainforest so that he can't teleport to it and attack it. Might be the play. But also he wants to lose the tile, so never mind. I don't think he does. Does Bull by the Horns override Arcane Shift? Yes, it does! You can teleport to teleport. This is going to be a powerful force from Arcane here. He's amassing his troops. He's going to have a lot of wizards in one place. How sneaky. What a decimating open for Arcane. And yet they're in this. They're in this to win this. Question is, what does Magma do to disrupt it? Because now Arcane is at this point where the enemy doesn't want to attack them, because that gets him closer to winning. Oh! You do the maths. We're looking at a Typhon! This is a turn 5 Typhon Snake! With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 apprentices. That's 6 times 15, that's 90. Koga adds 20, that's 110. And his general is at 10 plus dice roll, which means at a minimum, he's attacking with 121. Enough to kill Typhon. Oh my gosh! So no matter what, Jake is looking at a win condition here, which he was going to take regardless by moving to the opposite coast in the Grey. But he's going to go for Typhon. So much more flexible. I like this play. Now, that being said, he is putting all of his eggs in one basket here. If Lightning can somehow go tier 3, they could get to the Arcane capital. That would be mad rough if he's able to accomplish that. We got a Swanna here. Let's see what we got here. I might need to purchase this. You gotta see what we got in the backpacks here. Gotta go up to the shop. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, we're gonna buy an Ultra Ball here. And we're gonna toss an Ultra Ball at this Swanna. Boom! And we hope that we get it now. We secured it! Secured, baby. Yeah. So, he's weighing his options here. If he commits to the Gray, which resets 2 of his spells, he could get Experience's Knowledge back, which would give him Bull by the Horns again, which he could use to take Typhon, which I think is a much better option, because these are win conditions that I don't see anyone else taking Typhon this next turn. So I think he is totally set in doing this. And he also defends himself by moving a unit to this Rainforest tile here, so now Lightning can't kill him, and Nature cannot press into him. I think Jake has set himself up for a win here. I think Arcane will be winning it next turn. Unless someone draws Friendly Dragon here to nuke this tile, I think Jake just wins. So he now has Experience's Knowledge is back, and it doesn't even matter what other ability he takes. I really don't think that he could draw the Blinding Light one. Get some more advantage cards. What's the point? What's the point? I think he's set. I think this is a checkmate game. Arcane is scary, boys. You gotta aggress them. Got to aggress them. And he does this all under the cover of Command Thunderstorm. So he doesn't even have a new weather event coming this turn to disrupt anything he's doing. I think he's a checkmate play. The only other thing that could happen is if someone else has some card that could get Bull by the Horns back. That's the only other way they can disrupt it. Lightning, the Aether player, can. Lightning has to do it. Wow! So Lightning can actually disrupt this because they have Aether. But how much does this delay? The moment that someone aggresses upon Arcane and makes them lose a tile, they will effectively win the game. Because then at that point, all he has to do is get to the middle. So what's also very interesting is the moment that Justin uses Interstellar, Arcane effectively wins the game as well. Wow, this Aether being in the game is so disruptive. Magma gets a good card here. But I don't think he's going to be the target of any aggression. This is a boss game. Boss tile is so important this game. We're coming to the close here. The game has been up for about an hour here. And we're coming into the final couple of turns here. Arcane poised to win. But what can Nature do to disrupt it? What can Aether Lightning do to disrupt it? And what is Magma waiting for in their back pocket? They want to go tier 3. Of course they want to go tier 3. That would effectively get them their quest. Get them out of here with a win condition. But is there anything else they have up their sleeve? The general still just waiting here to pounce on this tile and turn it into a volcano. Which would effectively force Arcane into having to take on Typhon, actually, or contend for 3-star tiles. Very difficult for them to do. Very difficult. I forget what this is. It is.
Content!
It is what it is.
Content!
I'm trying to bring back all these sound
You
effects for
ask
us.
and you shall receive. The man, the myth, the failure. His name is Blue Shadow.
Blue Shadow is also in this game, looking for his position here. Looking for a winning angle. Gonna find it very tough to find it. But statistically, a great player in this game. The first that I've ever known for Blue Shadow. The first. We'll see what happens here. Scooby weighing a lot of options here. If he sits right here, he's so close in being able to go tier 3 and achieve his quest in the next turn. Needs 3 food in order to be able to do so, actually. 3 food. That's all it takes. But that also put him in a position to spawn 3 soldiers from each volcano. Very solid here. Does Tantor remove Cerberus? No, it does not. I didn't even notice. So Lightning took on Felnir. Didn't even see where he played Cerberus. But he chooses to just put it on his capital. I love that. So awesome. Yeah, there's so many random combinations of cards in this game that result in really fast kills. The answer is no, it does not. Felnir is an offensive fortification, yes, but not actually classified as one. So I'm curious as to what Nature's play to kill is. Is he going for just a purchase? Does he have some way of getting... He's got Stampede in his back pocket. Can't go to tier 3, though. What does he have? Setting up for a Stampede kill? So interesting. Not sure. What is Magma positioning for? I think Scooby didn't prepare so much for this game, didn't look at what the new changes were. Glacier was recently just nerfed very hard. But he went for something that he's never played before, so curious to see what he's about to do here. He just said cool in the chat. Just said cool, that's it. What could he mean by that? Is he admitting defeat? Is he stonewalled? What's going on here? Stable still hasn't been used yet. Is that the play for Nature? But Blue Shadow's question was about Tantor, and Tantor isn't accessed until tier 3. Very curious, the moment that the Aether tile is converted into a volcano, that does take away the capability of Arcane achieving Arcane Imitation, and therefore from achieving their quest. So I think Scooby can serve as just a denier for that potential win condition. Magma moving some soldiers back into the bag here. Magma with a great economy. Ah! So Scooby kind of undoing a little bit of his turn. He's looking for star tiles here. The changes to the win conditions, which Scooby is not privy to the patch notes. You have to hold the star tiles to the end of the turn. Conveniently, he's in the best position to do that because he is the last player in the turn. So it looks like Arcane is going for battle. He's out for blood at this point. Uses San Andreas' fault to convert that star tile into a volcano. Great stuff here. This is where I love the potential to use that pyroclastic vents. You get a volcano in enemy territory, and you can now teleport units to a volcano there, even if you lose it in the end. Question is, does he take raked over the coals yet? So Magma takes this star tile here. Always going to be able to purchase this one, unless nature decides to aggress here. Looks like he's positioning on this market to potentially go into the Aether tile at some point. Uses San Andreas' fault and goes ahead and double defensive fortifications on that new tile. And we finally get to the end of turn 5. That was a doozy of a turn. And it goes to Lightning, who still holds Aether at his disposal. Gets an announced card. Lightning and someone else getting building materials. Probably going to be asking for food here. Still netting less than 10 food a turn. Absolutely brutal. Arcane losing some food as well. So Magma did not obtain a win condition by taking that star tile. They're just telling them that this means war. And even though Arcane has massive presence here, they cannot use Arcane Shift to teleport and attack to expel that Magma force from their nation. So we get an announce card here. I think he gave it to... Who did he give it to? Didn't get any food in return. Look at Magma's resources. Magma is setting up for a one-turn victory, though. They wanted to come out of nowhere. And because he's sitting in the turn 4 position, with these new terms on the win conditions, he is in optimal position to take these star tiles and hold on to him. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he might be going for... He could be going for Typhon here. When he has 5 volcanoes at his disposal, if he pops Raked Over the Coals and adds 5 to his soldiers' offensive dice roll, great Typhon slaying potential there. So their advantage cards don't lend that much to it. 3 star tiles in his quest is probably his other most valid option, or perhaps he goes for 50-50. But he's going to have to spend a lot of resources to get there. So let's see what Lightning does to get relevant. Lightning, using balance, is going to take Arcane's experiences, knowledge, gonna take Bull by the horns from them to deny the Arcane win this turn. Very essential for Lightning to do that, to keep them all in the game. So Bull by the horns likely to be used 3 times this game, if not has already been used twice, and this third retrieval is simply to deny. But you know what's so interesting is if Arcane manages to get their general to the temple, which they are 1 tile away, then he can actually purchase back Macaw once he owns Rainforest in order to just retrieve Bull by the horns from his hand. Crazy combinations of cards here. But he has to also buy that or obtain that Aether tile and maintain it. But I think his general might get attacked here by Lightning. Let's see. I think Arcane really wanted to purchase this tile here. I think they needed to do that. If not, we might just see a massive movement into Typhon here. Arcane does have a win condition. We could see them just teleport to a tower as well and just go for an attack somewhere. Eventually go for an attack. Wouldn't be the turn that they teleport, of course. Kind of vibing with the music. We're 20 seconds out from another Pokemon spawning. Lightning attacks Arcane. This is going to proc Arcane Circle. This might be a mistake on Lightning's part. Arcane probably happy about this. Arcane happy that Lightning is attacking them here. Spreading out their attacks. We got a Bergemite. You I've got a specific ball for ice types. I think I do. And I do. Shaboom. We are just absolutely killing it here. Boom. And we got him. Secured. I'm the lone man on this journey tonight, but that's okay. I'm getting better and you're not. So Lightning is going to enact these... this is a suspect play. Because Arcane is going to be able to purchase this tile and put 2 castles on it, 2 towers on it, and be able to take the temple. Arcane is now getting suffocated, though. But Arcane Imitation is in play. There's no way for Arcane to win this turn via their quest. However, they can be 1 tile away from it. But you really wanted them to see Arcane Missiles. Arcane is now saying that, is there any other way to get Bull by the horns? And... I am not trying to give him any hints. There is a way for him to get Bull by the horns again. And very curiously enough, it is the coolest interaction between all 3 nations. So Oof very clearly not watching the stream right now. If he gets to the Aether tile and he enacts Arcane Imitation, he can purchase back Macaw. And Macaw would allow him to steal Bull by the Horns from Lightning's hand. But that is a 3-tile play. That's a 3-turn play. So I don't think Lightning would allow it to happen. Because I think Lightning would rather discard that card than allow that to occur. But also, if he discards it, then he can use Experience's knowledge again. So Arcane is just... If he gets to use Bull by the Horns, wins the game. Because he can take on Typhon. That's the situation we're in. Very unique. Didn't even see Nature positioning here. Nature looking like they want to actually square up against... Squaring off with the Aether tile. Telling him to discard cards! If he discards Bull by the Horns, the game is over! Oh my gosh! I think Kerchak should be discard a random card. I'm not going to change the text now. But imagine! I'm polling the game right now. Do we make Kerchak discard a random card for the content? Looks like the table's not going for it. Oof, of course, all for it. No way any of the other 3 players go for it. That is the current text of the card. Kerchak, it just lets them pick what card they're discarding. So I'm not going to change it mid-game. Nature going with 2 attacks here. Forcing Arcane and Lightning to discard cards here. Because Kerchak is attacking in 2 different positions. I think all this delay for Arcane here, this is either going to result in Lightning finishing off Arcane or Magma stealing the win here. 24 BM. Imagine if a weather event spawns a bunch of food into the game, gets it to Lightning, and he goes to your 3, he can finish off Arcane. It would be a devastating finish. Curious to see what Nature is positioning for. Look at all this searching for the advantage cards. Oof is looking for the card that wins him the game. I don't know if it's in there. If it's not Bull by the Horns, I don't know what it is. And Bull by the Horns is currently sitting here. Elemental Devotion would normally be an S tier card for him. Not in this situation. Takes Play Dead to go to battle with Lightning, I think. He has to contend for the Aether tile here. He absolutely has to. It's the only card that's standing in his way. I think he should have reset this card from Gray. I think he probably did. They might allow him to use that again. It's the only other card I think that is resettable. So he just spawns some apprentices at his capital. Further defense, of course. If Lightning goes tier 3, they do pretty much wrap up this game with their quest, of course, Olympus's Throne in combination with Never Strikes Twice. That will allow them to finish off Arcane potentially and win the game. Because Command Thunderstorm is going to expire at the end of this turn, but because he's Aether, he's going to be able to just immediately proc it again. He has one boss kill at his disposal. So unfortunately that's worthless to him, because the only other boss on the board is Typhon. Which Typhon would give him a win condition, yes, but he can't satisfy his 2 boss win condition outside of 2 very specific weather events happening. Which I gotta know what happens here. Fire, skip it. Air, water, skip it. Selling the score. This could shake up the economy. This is our next weather event, which is going to happen regardless of the fact that Lightning is going to immediately follow it up with Command Thunderstorm. So Arcane is in a very tricky spot. I feel like they are forced into just running it into Typhon. A lot of things that can interfere with that, but they have so much military. It's gonna be very hard to stop them. Even this force down here, it's a force to be reckoned with for sure. So I would imagine we should just see the units. What would be awesome is if we tower here. I see his plays. I got Magma in my ear right now, saying this game might be wrapped up. And I do see the play. I see the plays here. Good plays, too. And it's really only possible because he is going last. So, displaying the power of going forth. And I think we're about to see Scooby put on another clinic as to why he is the soon-to-be #1 seed again. Arcane is going to get out of here with a win condition, but he is pretty stuck at this point. Lightning really just played Party Ruiner by stealing Bull by the Horns. Uses his tower. See, what's cool here is if he's teleporting everyone home. I like this. I think what he should do is he could have gotten within 2 tiles of Typhon. He's still 2 tiles away from winning. But, oh my gosh. Arcane displayed a lot of power here. And it really did take a collective effort to stop him and a very, very strange appearance of Aether. So I think Arcane is going to get a lot more respect moving forward. He is 1 ability away from satisfying his quest, or Typhon away from winning. Very unfortunate for Arcane. So I think Oof is just going to cash in 1 win condition here. I think this game is over this turn. I think it's over. I think once Oof ends his turn after he just moved his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 apprentices home. Massive defense. But I do believe it's going to be a Magma win here. So let's see exactly what he's going for. In my opinion, it's going to be a 3-star tile and quest victory here. Is what I believe we're going for here. Could do the BM Nomads play. Like it. Wouldn't that be cool? Might do it. Might do it. Throwing his resources out there. Buying that star tile. Yes, sirree. He's going to rake over the coals. We've got arrows on the Aether tile. Kerchak does put up a bit of a fight here. Kerchak has a combat value of 20, and he's got home field advantage with 5 here. Nature, unfortunately, has no cards able to impact this battle. So, with Magma going to tier 3 here, he has achieved his quest. He just needs to hold it till the end of this turn. He now owns 5 volcanoes, and he just needs to get his hand on a final star tile. Five added on his dice roll. What's the tie? Tie what? I don't see a tie anywhere. Ah! Arcane playing for 10 armies. He said what? It is rough! But where's Magma's 3rd star tile at this point? He doesn't have it yet. He is going to rake over the coals here. It's going to add 5 to his dice roll, attacking into the Aether tile here. 4 soldiers. If he rolls a 1, he does not take this. He's 2 off.
Keep my head above the water. Just stay with me. I'm still praying for a lifeline. For a lifeline. Won't you stay? Just stay.
Alright. So it looks like we might have a tie here. But Magma, ooh, with Blacked Out Sun, does add 1 to their dice roll as well. So never mind, he is guaranteed to take this. Guaranteed to take this. We're going to have 2 people with 2 win conditions at the end of this turn. Which means, I think both Arcane and Magma are going to get out with wins in this game. Great game! So, originally, it was not intended for Arcane to be able to achieve the 10 army win condition with just their apprentices. Probably should. But, we'll see. We'll see. I think Arcane is going to get a lot more respect after this game. For those of you that are playing in these competitive matches, Arcane is good. Arcane is very, very good. The temple getting taken away, curious as to whether or not Imitation should be in play. Arcane Imitation. Alright, so we're looking at a modification of the rule for Arcane specifically in having 15 apprentices as the official win condition for it. Great stuff here. Scooby showing just how powerful Turn 4 can be when contending for star tiles, and this is exactly what Magma does. Magma wants to play for that quest and play for those star tiles, while also being a force to be reckoned with in terms of bosses. I think if he positioned his armies a little bit differently, could have gone for Typhon in the same turn, using his Raked over the coals. So a great game from the players here, and it is going to be both Ooblord and Scooby getting wins here and moving up. So they are the only players to get win conditions, and both players are going to get wins from this officially. Very cool evening, and that is Empires of Aether, ladies and gentlemen. That is Empires of Aether. A turn-based strategy board game ready to shake up the world. Well, trying to increase the size of our Trubbish. A little laggy, though. Boom. How about that? Boom. So, ladies and gentlemen, hope you had fun. Really excited to get some new faces in here playing this game. It is a lot of fun. This game was right at an hour and 20 minutes. Hour and 20 minutes for a double win. Which obviously when we get into the playoffs for this first competitive season, a double win will not be possible. Of course not. But hey, it's pretty cool that it can happen here. We do like it when more than one player can win. And so then it gets to a competitive point where you're working to make sure there's only one winner. And I like that too. Empires of Aether, baby! See you next time.